The category is lead. Word. Oh!
Hey yo, what's going on? This episode of Pose is season 1, episode 1, entitled Pink Slip. So I'm sorry. So Blanca is suspicious of Lil Papi. She asked him, "Are you selling drugs?" He said no. So then he comes back into the house and says he's missing his beeper. She's like, "Well, so what you missing?" "Oh, I'll help you find it." He's like, "No, I got this." "What friends?" "You don't know them." So then she finally asks her children. So is Papi selling drugs? And Ricky tells the truth. And then she's like, "You gotta be out by dawn." She follows him to the pier, "or I'm gonna throw your shit out." Then him and Ricky end up getting into a fight, and basically, what is his name? His boyfriend's upset and Angel's mad. So then Stan ends up going to a ball with Angel to introduce him to the world that she's used to, and he really felt out of place. And he started feeling sick, so they were sitting on the stoop, and he goes, "So, this world, I love you, but I'm open with this." And she's like, "I love you too," but he's like, "It's better to do this in secret." So Angel is what you call a transsexual. Looks like a woman has a penis, whatever. So he's embarrassed about it. So eventually she goes back to the house, and all his stuff is gone, all the furniture, and just her bag of stuff. Elektra convinces a man she's been sleeping with for since 1977. Let's have sex. He goes, "So are you tucking?" She goes, "No. Wouldn't you mind getting in this pussy?" And he's like, "I told you what it was. I like your penis right there." So when she tries to go see him, she doesn't have access, and he finds another transgender. Then, as they go to the ball, Lil Papi goes to jail, but he didn't have any product because he's selling drugs. And then finally, she's like, "Okay, Papi, you could come home." He joins, what are the ladies' names? I can't remember, but they were from the House of Abundance. They started their house because Elektra was cut off by her sugar daddy. He threw her away and replaced her. They're being evicted. He hasn't paid no bills, nothing like that. This is why I tell women, or even men, stop relying on others to take care of you. Whatever lifestyle you have, you should be able to maintain the shit. Period. So he's like, "No, I'm with them." And then they were being real shady to Angel, Blanca, I'm sorry. Where he does what I say and he's happy. And I feel Papi's doing it to get back at Blanca, but then also he doesn't want to sleep on the streets. And then pretty much Elektra was really nasty to her children, talking, "You can't sleep in the room. No chewing gum, no smoking. You can't sleep past one." Just really upset. So she ends up working at the Peep Show. So like I said in the last episode, she stole all their money to get her reassignment surgery. And then now the children are like, "You know what, since you don't got shit, we can do this on our own." And she's like, "I'll destroy you." And they're like, "Well, if broke ass Blanca could start her own house, we could start our own." And then Stan leaves Angel, and she's hurt, which I knew this was gonna happen. Like I said, his wife put him out the house, and when most men cheat, especially, whatever they're doing, they're ashamed of what they're doing, and he can't admit that he's gay because, like I said in my last episode, if you're a man having sex with someone who has a penis, you're gay. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but some type of homosexuality is going on. So she was hurt, Angel was hurt, and that's the episode. So now I'm going to read how an article about the episode explained a little bit better. Give me one moment, so I do apologize for the brief silence. All right. This is a site called Vulture. This article was written July 5th, 2018 by Brian Mullane. One of the best parts of Post so far has been its absolute amazing soundtrack full of retro radio hits and old school homo disco bangers. But the music cues were a little bit on the noise during this episode. It started off with Elektra and Daddy Dick getting it on in the apartment he keeps for her, and Sade's classic, The Sweet Taboo, is playing. What could this taboo possibly be? Could it be referring to what it's about, Elektra, that turned him on so much? That taboo is gone now, and Daddy Dick doesn't like the idea of Elektra in Elektra's work going for a test drive in a brand new pussy. We know from previous episodes. I'm sorry. Okay, we know from previous episodes that he's not even down with playing with what has been removed. It seems like what gets Dick off is being able to have complete control over another person, sexually, financially, and even bodied. He kicks her out of on the spot. The episode posed a whole lot of problems for Elektra. She goes back to the apartment she keeps for her house and shouts at them about the new rules now that she's living there. It's true, shit really does roll downhill, even in the ball scene. We found out that she's months behind on her rent because she used all of her money for her opportunity and is about to be evicted. Lulu and Candy rebel against her and decide to move out and start their own house out of a walk-up in Harlem and the House of Felicity. Good idea, bad name. She can't find another arrangement with a rich gentleman either because it seems like just about every man wants what she got rid of. She found her freedom and it came at a horrible price. She tumbles all the way back down to the bottom, stripping at Peep World again while listening to Tina Turner's Private Dancer. The On the Noise song title came full circle. The worst scene for Elektra, though, is when she shows up at Daddy Dick's and tries to go upstairs, and the doorman blocks her. This is a man who was seemingly once her friend, but now that she's out of Dick's life, says he would love to break your freaking face. She realizes that the passage into the straight world that she has always craved and thought she'd achieve wasn't earned herself. It was a side effect of being with Dick. She also learned that she was easily replaced with a gorgeous Latinx half her age. Private Dancer was also playing for Angel, who found herself back working at the Piers once Stan dumped her. She had quite a reversal of fortune with her man. Since he left his wife, they were living together in her apartment like boyfriend and girlfriend, even spending a Friday night sitting home watching the proto-gay classic My Two Dads. I don't remember that show. Finally, he asked her to take him to a ball because he wanted to see what's going on about. The night she takes him was great for viewers, but bad for Stan. The theme of the runway was bizarre, and the looks were a garnished mix of Lee Bowery, Amanda Lopro, a weird sex monster from the first season of American Horror Story. There was even one who looked like a cheetah that got stuck in a car tailpipe when it backfired. They were some of the best looks of the series, but Stan just saw a bunch of circus freaks and didn't feel like he belonged at all. That's because he didn't, and honestly, he couldn't. He's a straight white dude. Okay, he's not a straight white dude because he likes TS women. He's a straight white dude from the suburbs. He never had to feel like he didn't belong before. Like he says, his life is in every movie, TV show, magazine on the planet. The ball scene is a creation for people who didn't feel like they fit in anywhere else. They made it in their image, and they shouldn't have to change it around to make some cultural tourists from New Jersey feel comfortable. The first time he's in a place where he feels like an outsider, he completely loses his shit. Outside of the ball, he thought that by living on the finger fringes with Angel, he'd have a bit of authority he thinks he lacks, but he's not going to find that in hardship. He's not even going to find that in someone else's experience. He only found that with himself and trying to buy it by buying Angel into a shortcut that was never going to work. However, dumping her, taking all of the furniture from the apartment, hightailing back to Wayne, New Jersey, or whatever the hell he lives, doesn't really seem like Stan's style. Also, if he put Angel out on the streets, why didn't she have to go back to hooking at Piers? Why couldn't she just go back to Peep World? I was waiting for her to run into Elektra and see all those chickens finally coming home to roost. At least Angel had a home to go back to. With the Evangelistas, somehow that Papi doesn't have anymore. As soon as Blanca finds his pager, she knew that he's dealing drugs. There's only two kinds of people in the 80s who had pagers, doctors and drug dealers. And I don't think Papi was writing prescriptions. She knows that he's dealing, but doesn't kick him out after he lies and says he isn't. Why? Well, we need to get Ricky in the mix. There is the whole elaborate plot where she doesn't just go down to the pier to catch him. She asks her children at first, and Jamie lie about what is going on because they don't want him kicked to the curb. Ricky rats him out, though, because he's afraid he's going to lose the only thing close to home and a family that he's ever known. Papi ends up back with a friend of his mother's who is a drug dealer and gets him from peddling weed on the pier to pushing crack rocks on the street. As soon as Blanca said in the first scene that if he got arrested, he should make her his one phone call. Well, we know that Papi was going to get arrested before the hour was over. He had a close escape with the law, but gets off clean. Blanca is torn up about putting Papi out on the streets, but she kicks up an unlikely friendship with Ellen, Damien's dance teacher. She tells Blanca if she lets him stay, the children would have lost all respect for her and would try to get away with everything. Helena is right, but it's not an easy choice to make. When Blanca sees Papi in the ball and he says that he quit dealing, she excited for him to come back home, but it's too late. He's already joined the House of Ferocity, and they want to take Blanca down. That scene was the best of pose. It can be real and gritty, featuring the stories of well-drawn characters, but it can also be an escape melodrama at the same time. It's best when it's doing both things. Simultaneously, that means I can't wait for the killer ball in the season grand final. So that is super insane. And like I always say, we shouldn't be mean, to others just because we don't agree with their lifestyle or sexuality. Constantly bullying people. People be killing themselves and it's not cool. Like I said before, the reason why I watched the show is because I kind of wanted to more understand around this time how the LGBTQ community is. And no, I'm not a part of it, but it's always good to have some type of understanding, even if you don't agree with something. So thank you, YouTube, for tuning in. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, leave a comment, thumbs the video up or down, or talk shit. I don't care. Thank you.